Hey, welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine and I work here. Now, in last week's video, we had a little look at some of the babies that are on site, and that was our Geweldes monkey baby, which is doing really well. We've also had some naked mole rat babies, and of course we've had some bat babies too. Now, this year in total, we've had 5 babies born so far, and that's out of a total of 7 females that we're kind of expecting. And the 5 are doing really well. The kind of oldest one so far is probably around 2 months, and that was actually Seema's baby. So Seema's the one that had Hadrian last year. So that one's quite old now. Our most recent one was born probably about 5 days ago. They seem to be doing really, really well. So there's one more female that we're waiting on who is around kind of 3 years old. So she is quite young. She may or may not pop one out this year, but we're keeping an eye on her anyways. One of our new females, Gaia, who's a young female, first-time mum, did actually give birth the other day. Unfortunately, she wasn't a successful first-time mum. The first pup that she popped out, unfortunately, it dropped. So as you know, when female bats give birth, they hang upside down, especially the first time, and the little pup hangs by the umbilical cord. Now, for whatever reason, this pup dropped and landed on the floor. It was still alive and it was still strong. And then shortly after, we found another pup on the floor, but still in the sack, so it was completely like stillborn. So we don't know if she actually gave birth to twins, which has never been heard of in captivity or in this species at all. And that might explain why she dropped the first one, especially if it's her first time. I mean, she was huge. One of the first things we did genuinely try to do with the baby was actually try and put it back on the female, put it back on Gaia. We obviously were in contact with Jersey Zoo because they have the majority of the population down there. And they said that if the baby falls off and you see it, you can generally pick it up and get hold of the female and kind of reattach it to the teat and obviously onto her. But because the baby had been off for anywhere up to 2 hours, because that was kind of the time period between the keeper finishing the morning routine and popping back kind of mid-morning, we weren't too sure, what its condition was like, so we took it to the vets, got it all cleaned up and brought it back. So it was probably off of her for anywhere up to like 3 hours.
So Callum's just got back from the vets with the bat pup. They've cleaned it all up. It seems really strong and healthy, so we're going to try and introduce it back to Gaia, the mum. And we've just gone and rubbed our hands all over the bat enclosure ropes and that to get our scent on it. And Ross there has got some paper towel with bat scent on it too. We're going to rub the baby with scent, make it smell like a bat again, and then we're going to hook it on the mesh near Gaia and hope that they reunite and she takes it back. We'll go from there. So, his eyes look so much better.
Initially, we trialled just hanging the pup on the mesh and putting some banana next to it to try and encourage Gaia to go over to the bat pup. Because the bat pup was strong enough to obviously hang on its own, it has to be, in order to hold itself on mum. But Gaia was having nothing to do with that and wouldn't go anywhere near him.
I'm just speaking to Alice at Jersey Zoo, the stud bookkeeper for Livingstone fruit bats, because they've had success before of putting babies back on mums. Ours has had to go to the vets and come back again though, so it's been a little while and it smells of other things other than bats. So I think we're going to have to try and grab mum and see if we can actually force the baby onto the teat, because I think when the mum feels that suckling, instinct should kick in and she'll be like, okay, I've got a pup now, so I think we'll try that next. Right, so one person needs to hold mum upside down so it's like she's naturally roosting. Another person just needs to be able to pull her wing away so that we can access the teat. And then another person is going to put the baby on and try and get it to latch onto the teat. It might take it a little bit of time, like rub the face on the teat and stuff. See this one? Me? Yeah, if you would mind.
Trying to reattach a baby to a mum after that period of time was just, unfortunately, it didn't work out. We did try, because obviously if it could have had bat care, that would have been way better than anything that we could have had. And of course the first milk from mum, which is the colostrum, which has all of the nutrition and the resistance that the first baby needs, it's that really, really healthy milk that they first get in the first few days after being born. You know, they really need that to have a strong immune system. So we really wanted the baby bat to have it, but that was unsuccessful, unfortunately. So then we made a collective decision. It was like 5 or 6 hours past this point that we were going to try and hand rear. It's not something that we normally tend to do, but because these guys are super rare, and because we know that at the end of it we can successfully reintroduce the baby back into this population and it won't be completely dependent on people, it will integrate back in with bats, then we're happy to do it in this case. Once we made a special trip to get some special milk formula, it took many attempts to try and get the little baby bat to take the teat. And the longer it went on, obviously the weaker the little baby got. But persistence paid off, because about 7 hours after being born, the little one finally took around 0.2 to 0.3 mils of milk.
He's very dehydrated, but he'll get there.
He's had a few days of feeding now, so he's quite used to it. He knows exactly what it is. But initially it took some time for him to kind of figure out what it was and what to do with it. So he's normally pretty sleepy when we first go in. He's tucked in this little box. You can see I've got a towel that I've wrapped quite tight. It's just to make him feel secure so he can attach to it. And then I've got a really light sheet over him to make him feel like he's got a wing across him. Yeah, there you go, you can see him, he's a bit sleepy, still waking up there. He utilises his little feet and his thumbs on his wing to attach himself to this, and it's just so that we can kind of imitate what he would be doing with mum if he was still with her. He's usually quite hungry when he wakes up. Hi, there you go, the little eyes are awake now.
So how many days is this now?
This is day 6, so yeah, I'm a bit shocked, to be fair, because when he was found he was not in the best condition. Our options were try to rear him, or unfortunately he wouldn't make it on his own, he's too little. They can't do it on their own, so that's the only reason we've got our hands on him. We much prefer them to just stay with their mums. That is the best place for them. I always test that the milk is not too warm on my sensitive part of my wrist, just like you would with a baby. It's the same sort of process. And that was a bit cold, so we're just going to double check that it's a bit warmer now. Yeah, that's fine. He's gotten really good with it now, so he kind of knows what the teat is. The teat is quite long, but it's because they have a very long little mouth. So we want this to go in quite far. If it wasn't in, oh, silly egg. If it wasn't in far enough, these guys can aspirate, which just means that they swallow the milk down the wrong hole, essentially, which could be life-threatening for them, actually. That's why hand rearing can be quite precarious. He always likes to have a little chew to start off with. Now he has teeth already. He can clamp down really hard on the teat and on my finger occasionally as well. He starts to suckle once he kind of gets himself in a comfortable place, and then I can gently move the syringe plunger down. No force at all, because the last thing I want to do is spray the milk into the back of his throat. We do it with a lot of patience. The bat's anatomy is to hang upside down. It's a natural position for them. So actually, if I had him upright, he would have more risk of aspirating and health issues. So he would attach to mum's teat under her wing, which it's not on her chest, it is under her wing. And he would sit there and he'd attach and he'd suckle in the same position. So that's why we're feeding him this way. So when he finishes, he likes to hold on to the teat. I can't imagine being a female bat, because them little teethies like to grip it. I'm very gently moving that down. Hear it rip through the teeth. Very gently. His mum would normally groom him, and it would be a type of comfort. So I can use just a very damp little towel to kind of do the same process, and it's just to kind of comfort him. Keeps his little face clean as well, and wipe away all the milk around there, just so we don't cause any infections, or just so he's nice and clean, because it's the sort of thing that his mum would do to him. Yeah, the only reason I don't wear gloves is because he does often try and suckle my finger, and I don't want any of that plastic getting caught in his teeth or his mouth. He's trying to find the teat again. He's always hungry, but we have to gradually increase his food. So these guys, like most hand-reared animals, you can overfeed them. So it's trying to find a nice balance between him being hungry or being greedy. I don't want to make his little tummy sick, so I slowly increase his food, just so that I don't overdo it. But yeah, so he's constantly chewing and stuff at me. As long as I know that he's defecating, urinating and putting on weight, I know that I'm feeding him enough. If he hasn't put on weight over one of the nights, then I know, you can see how tricky he is to actually do this with, then I know that he does need more food. If he doesn't go this time, he'll go on the next one. We record everything. He's being particularly difficult to do on this go. Can you get me a little towel, my love? There we go. And then you heard a little squeak as well. He's surprised me so much with how far he's come. You know, going into these things, you never know if they'll make it. Like I say, they start off immunosuppressed. He didn't get colostrum from his mum, which would help build up his immune system. You know, he's starting worse off than any other baby would.
How often do we have to feed him?
So the first couple of nights, I was doing it every 2 hours, and then more often if he wasn't drinking enough. So we have been upping the food now that we're out of that kind of period, to make sure that we've still got a balance there. So now I'm feeding him, and Hannah had him as well, every 2 hours during the day and then every 3 hours overnight. So the feeding doesn't stop off the night time. You get a lot of broken sleep and you're up every couple of hours to make sure that they're getting everything they need from us.
So as far as like, obviously he's only just under 1 week old. What's the risk? What's the chances, do you think? It's tricky, isn't it?
It's very tricky. You never really know, to be honest. He can aspirate at any point. And it's not an error of anybody, it's just you can never be as good as the real thing, unfortunately. And he can just go downhill. These like hand-reared animals do tend to get a bout of diarrhea and stuff, just with the change of milk. He's been on the milk supplement since he was born. He didn't have any other milk, so actually he's not had any diarrhea with the change there, but that's not to say that that's not going to happen at some point. He's not out of the woods, and it's really hard to say. I think he's got a long road yet.
What's really nice is that he's already got very kind of unique markings. Every single Livy bat has different markings on the back of his neck, so those are completely unique to him. He doesn't have any facial markings or anything, so yeah. And yeah, his feet look like adult feet already. Like, they're huge.
They're massive.
Yeah.
You can see all the marks all over like how sharp they actually are.
So does he actually hang?
He hangs off my arm, yeah. Quite likes being in my hand because I think it's quite warm and it feels fairly natural to him. Like, he just grips on. What he likes to do when he's on this hand especially is wrap his feet around my fingers and hang just in my hand, in the palm of my hand. My hand's quite warm, so it's a thing. I think it feels quite comfortable for him. But you can see how incredibly strong he is even at this age.
Well, that's it. From day one, when they're born, they have to hang off mum. Yeah. And if they don't hang on, then that's it. And then, like, look, these are so sharp. His thumbs and his little toenails, they're so sharp. It's a day-by-day kind of process, and every single feed is ridiculously stressful because you're hoping that, you know, the baby takes the milk fine and doesn't aspirate. So it's incredibly stressful. So I can't iterate enough how not out of the woods this baby is, but I also couldn't not share it with you because it's so special, and it's just one of those unique opportunities that you might get in your career of being a zookeeper to kind of build that relationship with an animal and get some hand rearing experience, because we don't do it very often, that's for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and getting to meet our little man. He's obviously not going to be on show for several months, fingers crossed, But what we're going to do next is when the females have the pups who are around 2 to 3 months old, they start doing what's called parking, and that's where they'll start putting their pups on the net and just having a little break. So already Seema has been parking her pup up in here. So sometimes you might get to see a little baby hanging from the mesh. It's just shorter. So we want to replicate that behavior with the little bat. That's the plan anyways. So when he gets to around 2 or 3 months, we'll start bringing him in and putting him in the holding cage next to the main area, so he can be within the area of the bats. We'll do it for a couple of hours, which is what Mum would normally do, and then we'll bring him back and put him back in his little enclosure. Well, his little tub that he's got to keep him nice and warm. So that's kind of the rolling plan. But obviously the ultimate goal is to have him back in here, eating solid food in 4 months' time. But there's a lot of feeds and a lot of stuff can happen before now and then. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done already, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the Northumberland Zoo YouTube channel, and I shall see you next time.